Are you there, Jacob?
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman
Fuck it.
Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
They've wiped the slate clean at the clean slate Headingley, at least until later in the year. And Test cricket is back at Leeds. What a homecoming there should be for Johnny Bairstow and Joe Root to have put a smile back on the usually moribund face of English cricket. New Zealand, the world champs, have lost the series, but can win back some pride, and they have their captain back at the helm. Good morning, good afternoon, good dawn, good dusk, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Guerrilla Cricket. I'm Gorilla Hendo, Nigel Henderson, and I am joined first thing this morning by a foul-mouthed Messi Jez, who you may have heard uttered an expletive over the top of the theme tune if you were eagle-eared. Yes,
my abject apologies, Hendo and everybody else.
What a way!
It's wet and cold, and I stuffed up. So
yep.
It's only going to get better from here, isn't it?
I'm not sure it is actually. And also back, in the bosom of Guerrilla Cricket, for the first time in ages, it seems to me. At least I haven't been on with her for a long, long time. It's Annie Chave! Annie. Hello.
Oh, it's so nice to see you. And you are obviously in the tower itself.
I'm in the tower. I'm in the Tower of Power. Are you coming up to the Tower of Power at some point?
I really, really intend to, yes,
Good.
Absolutely. But I have been on. I was on for the first test, I think, or the second test.
Yes, you
were.
I just always miss you, that's all.
Yes, you just sneak in and then you sneak out again, don't you? Very quietly.
Absolutely.
Now, is it true that you've been...
she's in great demand.
She is indeed. Is it true that you've been asked to be a consultant on the new 60 competition?
They went through the rules with me.
Right. So you're responsible for the idea of if you score two sixes in 12 balls, you get an extra power play over. That's your brainchild, is it?
Yeah, well, I thought, what the hell?
What the hell?
If the 100 can do something wacky, let's make it even more wacky.
Let's just go crazy. Absolutely. Well, what do we think today? England are coming in on a high, somewhat, aren't they? Really, after what happened at Trent Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand have had the problems. They've had 3 men with COVID at least. They've had a man with a bad case of sciatica who's had to go back to New Zealand. And England have got another injury problem with Jimmy. Should we be worried? What do we think? Annie, are you worried about Jimmy?
No, I'm not worried about Jimmy. It's always wonderful to have him playing, of course. But no, I'm quite excited actually. I'm quite excited to see Jamie.
Oh, he's one of your old boys, isn't he?
Well, yeah. But I mean, he's come up on a pace the last, and I mean that in 2 meanings.
Yes.
He's definitely been bowling over 90 miles per hour. He's got that extra little bit of he hits the ball hard, the surface hard. He's got a little bit of fight in him, as he showed at Somerset the other day, where he knocked his brother out, and
do you think
Josh Davey as well.
Do they get on all right, or are they
it's a good question, isn't it? He didn't seem too concerned about his brother either. But
no, indeed not. Did he not come back and then he bounced him again? I think I read something along those lines. That's very unkind.
Yes,
anyway, everything's going on.
It was a ferocious bit of bowling that you looked at and thought, God, this will get him in the test side.
There you go. Well, there he is. He's leapfrogged, and it's not easy for a 6'7" man to leapfrog another 6'7" man, but he's leapfrogged his way over his twin. His twin will be peaked. Get it?
Oh, God,
and we're ready to go. New Zealand have won the toss, and they're going to be batting. And they've got Tom Latham out there. They've got Will Young out there, and Stuart Broad is going to bowl. Without his partner in crime. I'll jingle people up after the first ball. I've got a bit of a problem here because I've only got the 1 pair of glasses, and so I'm having to go from close range work to far range work while lifting the glasses and doing the jingles and commentating. In comes Broad outside the off stump to Tom Latham, and he allows the ball to go through. What a letdown! What a letdown for a first ball after all that build-up. This is the man facing Stuart Broad.
He opens up a thing, or sometimes keeps wicked. He doesn't bowl great, but I still don't wanna face him, Tom Latham.
Yes, he's facing up to Stuart Broad at the other end.
Tonight, I'm William. No, not that guy on Papahito. I won't sing out, score some runs.
Now, what on earth has happened there? A man has run on very, very fast indeed, middle-aged man, balding, and dropped something near the stumps.
It was a bowling marker.
It's a very big one. Outside the off stump, left alone by Latham. And, of course, opening the bowling for England this morning is a man I'm looking for desperately on here and can't find. This man. Four slips on a beautiful morning in Headingley, or in Leeds, at Headingley. Here comes Broad round the wicket, down the leg side. Brilliant take by Ben Folkes, made that look ever so easy. Just dived away, grabbed it out of the air, stopped it running away for 4 byes. And there is indeed no run. I should bring you the teams. New Zealand won the toss, decided to bat. They line up with Tom Latham, Will Young, Kane Williamson, Devon Conway, Henry Nicholls, Darryl Mitchell and Tom Blundell. They've been difficult to get rid of this series, haven't they? Michael Bracewell, who's recovered from COVID also. Neil Wagner gets his first outing of the summer. Tim Southey, and of course everyone's favourite leading number 11 run scorer, Trent Boult. In comes Broad again, bowls wide of the off stump, too wide. He's not making Latham play at the minute, and it's skirt gone through to the keeper again. England, only the one change. They've lost, of course, Jimmy Anderson. Was it an ankle? He's got?
Ankle injury.
Well, that means they line up as so. Alex Lees, Zach Crawley, Ollie Pope, Joe Root, Johnny Bairstow, Ben Stokes, Ben Folkes, Jamie Overton, Matty Potts, Stuart Broad, and Jack Leach gets another go. Some people have been a little bit critical of the left-arm spinner, but I love Jack. And I'm sure you do, Annie. Here comes Broad again in bowls, and he does have to play at this one. Just squeezes it out into the offside, just behind square. And there is no run. Have we been joined by anyone this morning, Messi?
We have indeed, and it was a real test actually. Me saying "fuck it" during the intro, a number of people picked that up.
Did they now?
Included the naked porn box saying "fuck it" messages. Click here. Who also says Annie. Matt Searle says, what a way to start the day with messages as intro.
Absolutely.
And Jay Grover says, morning all. I think Jeremy speaks for us all when he says, fuck.
Edged and caught at first slip. Would you believe it? Broad has got Tom Latham. Latham's having a real battle in this series. Things not going for him. He's had to play at that one. Broady has got the wicket. New Zealand are none for one, and their vice captain has gone.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Does indeed. Just a little bit of movement away off the seam. Well, I say off the seam, but it looked like a scrambled seam, to be honest. It was clutched to the breastbone of Joe Root. Ben Stokes is delighted. Broady's going off on one of his runs, which is it's not unlike...
I think it was a really clever bit of bowling.
It was
from Broad,
clever
and I
bowling.
think he is justifiably quite pleased with that.
Yeah, but don't you... I'm maybe it's because I was once an opening batsman. But when you're an opening batsman and you've practiced all morning, I don't know, you've been in the nets for half an hour and you've been psyching yourself up, you've gone out to bat on what we think is going to be a good wicket for batting on,
Bit of a belter,
and
yeah.
you're gone in the first over, and you just sit
Yeah, but
down.
you know, this is what opening is about, Hendo.
You're
You
harsh.
know, the ball does do a little bit in the first few overs, and even if it's a belter of a pitch, you have to be able to play that.
You've become much more harsh and in your
Yes.
in your views.
You
Annie.
can't deny Hendo is legitimate bodily reaction
Exactly.
to what he suffered so often.
You're denying me my right to.
I know, no, you're absolutely right. It must be horrible.
Yes,
and
it
I
is.
feel for him. How
I do
about
too.
that?
I absolutely do. That's much better and more in fitting with your image.
Hendo, just to check, can you ask Bear if hot mic's working, please?
I'm hoping he's listening, but he's shut the door on me here. So unless I shout away from the microphone, is hot mic working? I don't know whether he'll have heard that. Well, it's not going to be Jamie Overton to open the bowling for England, along with Stuart Broad. It is going to be a man who's, I think, impressed most people who've seen him so far, even though he may have been 8th choice bowler for England. He's got a jingle that goes like this.
I've heard from pots that the kettles are filthy black. You know he might do. Let's bring him into the attack.
Well, it's that was the final ball of the over with which Broad got the wicket. So Potts will bowl now from the... Oh, I'm trying to work out which end it is. He's coming in with 4 slips going down. He's into Will Young, and he gets that to nibble away from the right-hander. That said, it didn't really carry very much. Kept quite low as it went through to Ben Folkes. So, low bounce at this stage of the game seems a bit worrying. But there you go. Yes, so Will Young is facing his first delivery, and the other man who's come to the... have I done the Kane Williamson jingle? I'm not sure. Did I do it?
No.
I didn't do
you
it.
didn't.
It's 29 seconds, so I won't do it for the time being.
You're very slow on the jingles here.
Yeah, I'm
Hendo.
terrible,
It's
aren't
almost-
I? I'm a complete mess. Outside the off stump from Potts, left alone by Will Young, and there is no run. If you're just joining
You
us,
need
New Zealand
very
number
focals,
one.
mate.
I need
That's what
very
you need.
focals. I need very focals. I need my 9 other pairs of glasses, and I'm not sure how I'm going to make it through the day. I should find out how much is in the GPL as well. I'm sure Messi can find out.
I can tell you that we start the GPL with £127.
Wow, that is absolutely enormous.
Is that all from you?
Mostly,
All
yeah.
donated by messengers. That's probably why we said-
No, Hombre Nuevo has been a big contributor too.
Potts, back of a length, and this is easily turned away behind square by Young. He should get a couple of runs down to... Is that Johnny at long leg? No, surely not. Johnny must be in the slips. He's been doing so well there. I'm not sure who that was.
Yeah, I didn't quite spot
Was
who
that Big
was.
Jamie? Was that Big Jamie? Didn't look big enough to be Big Jamie.
No, Big Jamie's bigger than that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know who that was. They probably got. Oh, it's probably Jack Leach. He's normally.
Yeah,
in that
he's a
sort of
good
position, isn't he?
outfielder, definitely.
Yeah, he often appears on the boundary, doesn't he? Anyway, New Zealand then.
And there he is.
And there he is again. 2 for 1. 2 for 1. Matty Potts in again, bowls. Oh, lovely ball goes past the outside edge as Young presses forward a little bit timidly, a little bit uncertainly. Lots of encouragement from behind the stumps from Ben Folkes.
Leach is an interesting fielder because he throws in right-handed, so that's always.
He's what is he ambidextrous? Is that right?
Yeah, he must be slightly, mustn't he?
Yeah. I'd love to be ambidextrous. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
There are a few things I'd love, and that's one of them.
That is absolutely. Potts.
I thought you wanted to be amphibious.
That as well. In again, Foolish. This one, if anything, swinging after it goes past the bat. It was left alone by Young, and through to the keeper it goes. Who else has joined us, Messi?
So I'm just finishing off Jay Grover's thing. He just says he enjoyed the magazine. Anything?
Oh, good. Did he enjoy the crossword?
Oh, don't start.
Sorry.
The light roller said, "Johnny, you good folk today and hoping for a cracking game. Dead rubber, shackles off, could be fun. Sweet the leg, Broady, and happy Rugby League." And it was Old Fart at Play who asked if Hot Mic was working, which it's not yet.
But Bear's in here.
Bear has just come in to sort this out.
Good.
Puffing on his vape. That is the end of the over. Just 2 runs from it. New Zealand are 2 for 1, and finding himself in the middle much earlier than he would have wanted to. Is a man who's not getting runs himself, or hasn't been getting runs in recent months. It's the New Zealand captain.
A Kiwi told me long ago, there's no one better than Marty Crow. I know he's really great, but tell me, I wanna know, have you ever seen Kane laying strokes every which way?
There you go. That's Kane Williamson given the gorilla welcome. We've got what have we got? 3 slips and a leg slip. A leg slip. Now that's interesting, isn't it? We'll have to talk about that. What do we think they're thinking of here? I mean, we know he plays the ball beautifully late down towards third man in the manner of Joe Root, but has he been known to just flick
Yeah, I
little
was just wondering,
glasses?
has he been getting out that way?
Broad in, and he's angled it immediately into his hip. I'm not sure that he's got an edge on that, but it's run away just wide of the diving Ben Folkes down the leg side, and away to the boundary it has gone. Joe Brute. It's Joe Brute. A really nasty Joe Root would be Joe Brute, but it isn't Joe Root. It's Stuart Broad. Can't believe it. He's got that famous hands to the face look that he had with the 8 for 15. But that's what they're bowling for. But it was actually nicely played. Wasn't that far away from the diving
But
folks?
a good bit of analysis by England, obviously.
Absolutely. Well, I say analysis, but certainly they're bowling for that.
Yeah.
I mean, that first ball to him made you in no doubt about that. As Broad steadies himself and comes in again outside the off stump, but coming back a little bit, dropped down almost into his foot by Williamson, just dribbles slightly behind the stumps and it's fielded by the slip. 6 for 1.
I'd like to see a nice innings by Williamson.
A nice innings.
Yeah, nice. I'd like to watch him bat properly for a little while.
That would be very pleasant, wouldn't it? Yes, I agree.
It
I
would.
think he's due. He's definitely due.
He's due.
The other thing I'm quite excited about is having Wagner back in the side. He's one of the New Zealanders I like least because he's aggressive, and I think it would be quite interesting to see him.
In
Like
comes
least.
Broad, turns Williamson around a little bit, made him straighten or play front on a little bit there. So he's not looking at
I love the New
overconfident.
Zealand side, basically, is what I'm saying, as I really like the New Zealand side, but Wagner is one that, well, I think it's because he's got so many wickets against Somerset. that I find it hard to. He's bounced out so many of the Somerset players in the past.
It always comes back to Somerset, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Nothing parochial from Annie. In comes Broad again, 1 for 4. Packed crowd at Headingley. He's in, bowls, onto the back foot goes Williamson, and just squeezes that out into the offside. He raises his bat in the customary manner these days to say to his partner, no, there'll be no run there. And he just wanders down the wicket to have a little bit of a prod at the surface. Williamson has 4, Young has 2, Tom Latham has already gone. He will be staring probably now into a cup of cold tea and feeling very depressed with life. Such is the lot of the opening batsman.
Is that what you do when you're out, Hendo?
Well, it's a long time since I've been out because I haven't played for a long time. But there's always about half an hour where you're a right old misery.
Yeah.
Broad in, bowls outside the off stump, too wide this time, left alone by the New Zealand captain, and there is no run. I mean, you have this bit where you go in, and I think Mark Ramprakash was a bit like this. He used to put a towel over his head and then just sort of disappear under there and sort of consider his shortcomings for about half an hour before he was
we're all
ready
children still, aren't we?
We
really?
are.
And
You're absolutely right, Annie.
Yeah,
we
you
are.
just want to run around the changing room,
Scream.
stamping your feet,
You
really,
do.
don't you?
Putting bats through windows and I don't know,
Yeah.
punching locker doors. Well, just a couple of things I've done. Broad in comes Broad. It's always a lovely ball that has left Williamson, and Williamson did
Beauty.
absolutely nothing wrong at all there. But it's a really good delivery. Just
Broad's not happy that missed anything. What I think would be really good is if they got something like a what's one of those rooms where you can just throw yourself around.
Oh yeah, not a panic room. No, not a panic room.
Yeah, just like big
Tantrum
walls.
room.
Tantrum room. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
tantrum room where you can just go in and bounce around and throw yourself against the wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
It'd
it's
be really
called a pub.
good, wouldn't it? I think it'd be good for mental health.
I think so, and I think we should be on to the ECB about that. Maybe we could set up a separate company providing tantrum
A
rooms.
special bouncy castle. That's what it is.
Special bouncy.
Steve Sipcott is with you. He says, I have exactly the same problem with my glasses. I now see what I look like when I move them up and down. Morning all.
Matty Potts starts a new over, too wide outside the off stump. Will Young lets it go. Carry on, Messi.
Martin Lawrence says, great to hear 3 of my favourite members of the
Oh,
team
hello,
together.
Martin.
Annie, Messi and Hendo. Enjoy the game today. Should be a ripper. Thank you so much, Martin. And Leah's with us. Morning all. I don't like the start.
Don't like this start. What, you mean New Zealand losing a wicket? I guess not.
Indeed.
She doesn't really like England, does she? She's not a big fan of England. Big fan of India, I believe. Matty Potts again. Hasn't quite got it. I don't know, just doesn't seem to be hitting the pitch as hard as normal. Onto the back foot goes Young. Plays that well. And actually, I think the galley or the backward point should have done a little bit better there. But it's run away behind square for one of these.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
And Will Young came back from a disappointing first test and batted quite well in the second test. Got a 40 and a 50, didn't he? It was unfortunate to be run out, I think, in that second innings. Was it the second innings? I think it was. It seems like years ago since that
I
game.
know.
So much has
you've
happened.
had the Netherlands since. haven't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So New Zealand moving to double figures, 10 for 1. Will Young chattering to himself under his helmet. This is a straighter ball from Potts. It's defended back to the bowler, and there is no run. I get a feeling that with Potts, I think, is running up the hill at Headingley. If you know Headingley, it runs from top to bottom. There is a slope, but it's down the pitch as opposed to across the pitch like at Lord's. Just doesn't seem to have the same nip in him that he's had over the last couple of tests that we've seen. As we get a close-up on the slab. Slab 2, it should be. The sequel. Slab 2, the sequel. Here comes Potts again outside the off stump. Fuller delivery this time. It's left alone by Young and goes through the keeper. There is no run. Get us more.
Well, he has.
Sorry, go on.
He has got the pace we need, doesn't he? Let's face it, Jamie.
I haven't seen a lot of him. I've seen much more of Craig than Jamie over the years.
Yeah, no, Jamie's got that extra pace, definitely. He always has, but he's just got fitter and a bit better.
Yeah, why is Craig kind of been the first of the twins to make it into the England?
Because he's been more accurate.
Yeah. Potts short. He aims a pull at this one and misses. Hits over the top of it. and Folkes does well again, diving away to his left, but it kept low, so he had to reach down at the same time as he was diving, and does well. I'm a little bit worried about the pace of the pitch from this end. Just doesn't seem to be getting up really. I mean, he went for the pull shot. Lovely piece of keeping from Folkes. It is so good to see a proper wicket keeper, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It is
it's
good
got
to
better
watch.
with every game too.
Yep, and he can bat a bit. GPL is £127. I'll tell you how to enter in a minute. In comes Potts, wide of the off stump, also quite full, left alone. It's the end of the over. 10 for 1 from the first 4 overs of the morning. Latham is the man who's gone. Williamson has 4. Young has 6. GPL is the Guerrilla Prediction League. You pay us £1 and you estimate how many runs you think there will be in the day, or you use your skills to work that out. Then you put the money on and wait to see what happens at the end of the day. GPL, guerrillacricket.com/competitions. Go there and have as many goes as you want. Let's see if we can get it up to £200 before the end of, by the end of lunch, or the beginning of lunch,
nice.
of course, which is when it closes. So you have about 2 hours to make your forecast. You might want to get in there early, or you might want to leave it for a little while, but please do play the GPL. It's great fun later in the day, even if the cricket itself is a little bit dull. 3 slips and a leg slip for Kane Williamson as Stuart Broad comes running in again. Onto the back foot he goes. He turns it past the man at leg slip, a long way away from him, no danger at all. Down to long leg. He will take a single. He goes to 5, and it's 11 for 1. Messi, let me see if you can get a few more.
So the new man on Nuevo says, "Morning, wonderful gorillas. Can we add the new Messi quote to the opening credits permanently?"
Well, do you know what I thought? I thought I sit here and I work out with rigorous discipline a little spiel to say to you as we introduce the game, and then Messi Jezkis comes along and says, "Fuck it," and everyone falls around laughing. What's the point? Why am I wasting my time? 11 for 1.
It's a surprise factor.
That's what it is. Will Young is going to face ball, perhaps for the first time this morning. He's coming in from the Kirkstall Lane end, and it's wide of the off stump and left alone by the right-handed batsman. Carry on, Messi.
Warren says, "Thoughts on Potts with the new ball rather than Jamie Overton?"
Well, he just doesn't. He doesn't. I don't know.
It looks like it's hard work, like you were saying.
Yeah.
The pace is, and it does look like he's running up a mountain rather than.
Maybe he doesn't like the hill.
slope.
Maybe he doesn't like the hill at Headingley.
Bit of a Kate Bush thing, isn't it?
Hey, good point. Kate Bush, number 1 in the charts.
I know.
Amazing. Broad in again, charges up to the wicket, bowls, hits him on the pad, probably climbing too high, probably missing leg stump, so we don't get the celebra appeal from Mr. Broad, and there is no run. 11 for 1. The GPL, let me just say, GPL, go to guerrillacricket.com/competitions. There you will find all the instructions in how to play the GPL, and it's great fun, so get involved if you've not done so before, because it all helps keep Guerrilla Cricket on the air, and that's the main thing.
Guerrilla Cricket Pornbot is with us, and he loves sizing up Jamie Overton. Click here.
Steady on. I'm not sure about this bot. I don't know whether we should ban the bot. Ban the bot! Broad into Young, full again, and he digs this out and away through mid-wicket. 2 men in pursuit. It's the man from mid-on who will get there first. That is Matty Potts, and they'll get back for 2 runs. I'm a little bit worried that this pitch is going to be a bit dead. Doesn't seem to.
I mean, I see what you mean.
It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be coming onto the bat. I mean, I suppose we were spoiled by what we had at Trent Bridge, where you really got value for your run or for your shots, should we say?
Well, let's face it. The weather forecast looks far too nice, and it'll keep us far too jolly. So we need to find something miserable, don't we?
We like to moan. As I said, you always need the moribund look for English cricket. Broad
Josie
in
Oakes
again,
with us, it's all right.
balls and outside the off stump. Left alone by Young. Messi.
Oh, Josie Oak and Matt Searle have both tweeted, "I'd give my right arm to be ambidextrous." And Matt Searle, "Am I left to be able to spell it without autocorrect?"
Probably not. Probably not.
Hashtag I'll get my Kate.
I should do that. We should find out if anyone's joined us on YouTube as well in a minute. So we have a growing audience on YouTube, it appears to me.
Indeed.
New Zealand 13 for 1. We've got one ball remaining in the 5th over. New Zealand won the toss and batted full, and he just contained himself there, Young. Looked like he was going for the big clip off the legs, and maybe it wasn't quite there for that. He ended up just steering it to square leg. That is the end of the over. New Zealand 13 for 1. Messi.
I can tell you that on YouTube, Suter Hu has been having a whole lot to say. Good morning. He's also been killing the pawn bot with his spanner, I'm pleased to say. Padded cell, he suggested for the.
That's right. That's it. That's the word the words I was looking for. Padded cell. That's what everybody should have.
But Dave Wood says England need a padding room as well.
Yes, they do, mostly. Absolutely, that's for collapses. We'll go to the panic room now. Actually, I think that may just be the general dressing room, is the panic room for England, generally speaking.
Mutley says, woof, morning Primate, slightly tardy here. Nice to see England off to a good start. Love and sausages.
Did I see, Mutley, that you're now British? I didn't know you weren't British.
Is now
I didn't know you weren't British, but now I know you are British.
And loved by Priti Patel.
Indeed so, as all of us are. And, Williamson has played a rather poor shot at that outside the off stump. The ball did start to move away as he tried to force it, but it was a rather airy, wavy shot, one that you wouldn't really associate with.
Yeah, just shows he's not in the form, his normal form, is he?
Well, do you know what I said the other day? I said the other day in the Smaximum, which will be out again tomorrow. I should tell you about that. That's our Patreons only newsletter. I did mention that he's in his difficult root years at the moment. He's going through what Root did. Onto the back foot goes Williamson, plays it back down the pitch, and there is no run. Every batsman goes through this. I mean, actually, it doesn't matter how good you are, and we've talked a lot about the big four, of which he is one. But Root has now established himself at the top of that for the time being, because he's been in such incredible form over the last 18 months or so. But it's just not quite going for Kane in many ways. People talk about the fact that he's had another child. They always say that children help cricketers, but I don't know. Potts full. Oh, now he's playing uncertainly at that one. It was very full indeed, and he's gone off a sort of the inside corner of the bat, low down, all the way to long leg.
Yeah, it wasn't quite where he was aiming at.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I mean, you often read this thing. Well, someone's doing well. Oh, it's because he's just become a father.
Yeah, it depends how parenty you are, I suppose.
Well, also, it depends how many hours they're keeping you up in the night. I mean, how are you expected to go and bowl 20 overs in a day, or bat for 3 hours, if you've been kept awake all night by a screaming sprog?
Oh, they'll all have wet nurses and
will they?
all those sort of things.
You can tell I'm not a father, can't you? Funnily
Witness! God help us!
Potts in again, bowls to Young, and Young pushes out into the offside. There is no run. 14 for.
Isn't that a thing anymore? Sorry.
I don't know what goes on in Exeter, but it's a while since wet nurses have been a thing, I think.
We have a wet nurse farm, don't it?
Wet nurse farm. Sounds like the kind of thing I'd quite like to visit. Anyway, 14 for 1. Young has 8, and Williams. Can you get holidays there? Holiday at the wet nurse farm. That's interesting. Isn't it? Potts in again. I bet he will. Nicely steered, nicely driven, really, but didn't go through with the shot, but timed it very nicely. Young up to mid on, and there is no run.
Oh dear.
Oh, let's just have a moment of silence. It's all been a bit of a rush this morning, hasn't it?
Wetness.
Well, there is that, of course. It's all just been a bit of a rush this morning, as we've been also. Well, I should tell you that Jacob is in the house. Jacob is making his first appearance at Gorilla Towers.
Oh.
And when he was at the door, I opened the door to him and I had no idea who he was. Outside the off stump. Left alone.
He thought he'd come to read the meter or something.
Well, you never know. You never know who's turning up to see the bear. So you can't always. I mean, he was standing out there with a motorcycle helmet. So I thought, is this a delivery? Are we getting more beer? And then he said Hendo. I thought, hang on. And so Jacob is in the house. He'll be with you in not too long, I guess. In about after one more over, I would suggest.
Excellent.
How many people are making it to the tower these days?
Tony normally would be here, but Tony's missus is getting her OBE this week, so he's got to go. He's got to go to the palace. He's got to go to the palace.
He's got to go to the palace.
Yeah.
Jay Grover says Neil Wagner is my favourite Kiwi. Won my undying admiration in the Kiwis' last disastrous tour of Australia. That man fights. He'll fight and he'll fight and he'll fight. Admirable and great entertainment.
That is what
Sorry,
I would.
that was Joshua Letchford said that.
Okay, I'll come back to that in a moment. I would just say I'd love to see New Zealand beat Australia in Australia. That's that's what I'm living to see. Hopefully. Now Brody was just about to bowl his first ball of a new over, and he's just has to run it out at the end really, because Williamson wasn't ready. So Brody a little bit annoyed about that. So he takes his body and his headband back to the end of his run up, and no doubt
that'll give him
steaming.
a few bits of extra pace there for the next ball.
I would think so. I haven't seen short balls so far this morning. It'd be interesting to see how much a short ball gets up. I would just like to see a little experiment. Maybe we will with Jamie Overton. This one is nothing like a short delivery. It's very full, and it's clipped away by Williamson. It's running across those pitches on the outfield, and in the end it's just about flicked back by, I think, Alex Lees. No, it's the slab. Sorry, it's slab Mark 2.
It is the slab.
And they've got through for 3 runs. Williamson goes to 9. He nearly forgot to he was about to go over the boundary with the ball in his hand, and almost forgot to flick it back, but he did ultimately. So
it was a marvellous bit of fielding.
Marvellous, absolutely. Everything Somerset players do is absolutely.
He's not a Somerset player anymore.
But
he destroyed the Somerset players.
Yeah, but you know,
Craig Overton's still not playing, and neither's Josh Davey.
At heart, he's a Somerset boy, isn't he? Or Devon boy, isn't he? Really flicked up too long, mid off, and then the throw comes in, and it's not far away. Ben Stokes throws his eyes to the heavens as the effort came in, I think, from Matty Potts at mid-on. So a rather hurried single there from Young. It's already been run out in this series. Doesn't want to do it again. No. He went on the shot, really. Thought he timed that quite nicely. And Potts stooped, and he was in a very awkward position, but still got a pretty decent throw in. Wasn't that far away. Anyway, score moves on to 18 for 1. Both batsmen on 9. Tom Latham gone for a duck if you're just joining us. If you are just joining us, welcome along to Gorilla Cricket. It's lovely to have you. Broad in again. Williamson jabs this down into the onside. No short leg. Might be worth having a short leg. But they're continuing with the leg slip attack for now.
Jay says, when I worked with autistic bands, we had a snoozarium that was soft panelled with a ball pit and soothing lights for when they went mental. Install one in Gorilla Task ASAP.
Yeah, definitely.
And Leah says, you're correct, Tendo. Sorry, she says special bouncy castle is a nice euphemism for padded cell.
Yes, absolutely. Come into my lovely bouncy castle. In comes Broad again, bowls to Williamson. 2 wide outside the off-stump, doesn't have to play at that. And there is no run. The bear has come in.
And she also says, you're correct, Tendo. I do like the Australians even less, though. So during Ashes, I root for England.
Oh, right. Okay, that's good. It must be a time when you rooted for England. 18 for 1. Williamson 9, Young 9. Jacob is about to make his debut in the house. Give him
in the house.
Give him a bloody hard time. That's what I say.
I always like the underdog, I have to say so. I'd probably be rooting more for New Zealand in this test match.
Outside the off-stump again, left alone, still 1 ball remaining. That was at 84 miles an hour. Seem to have got a problem with one of the screens that the bear is trying to sort out now. As we see a close-up on Jimmy Anderson, who's seemed very happy with the line. He's thinking, oh good, I don't have to go out there and bowl and then wait for England to collapse in 2 hours and go out and bowl again. I can just take it.
He wouldn't have played today anyhow.
Well, there was talk.
Really
do you think there was talk before we knew he was injured?
No.
I mean, they did say that, didn't they? That he might just have to be rested because they've got the Indian test coming up next week as well.
Yeah, same as Owen Morgan was injured.
Oh yes,
yesterday.
Yes,
injured out.
Broad in again to complete the over. 2 wide of the off stump, left alone by Williamson, and that is the end of the over. We'll just do a little bit of marketing, and then Jacob will slide into view.
The best things in life are free. Just like Gorilla Commentary, we need money to pay tree.